And this is Black Sky Legion Zero Prep. This is episode 106 of Black Sky Legion, which is episode 7 of Zero Prep. We have New World to talk about this week, and a little bit else, but very little else. Mostly it's New World. Now, again, I want to get back to, I have this crazy super wide screen, so everyone that's watching, and everybody, you know, just feel free to, as people sort of stumble in and like, hey, what's going on? How come they have the screen? Whatever. I got a crazy wide screen, so this was the only way we could do it where the image didn't come out super distorted. I am lying in a bush in Ebonscale hiding from high-level monsters because I'm about to go screw with them. I am Kai Zen, your host. I'm drinking Dragon's Milk. With us tonight, we've got Ben. How you doing? What you drinking?
I'm currently, well, I've got a coffee lined up, but I'm drinking nothing at the moment. I'm just back. I've very little prep, which is why we're on zero prep, really.
Hell yeah. All right. Souv, how you doing? What you drinking?
Drinking coffee.
Right.
And I'm great. I've just watched a fucking stunning sunset in New World, and now I'm chasing a turkey across the landscape.
So
gleefully.
what zone were you in?
I'm in Windswood right now.
Oh, there's some great. I mean, there's different sunsets in the different areas. There's great, like in Morningdale, where you see the sun through the rain, or in Weaver's Fen, or Reekwater, where you see it coming through that like smoky, foggy, whatever. I'm in Ebonscale Reach, where it's like super like Asia Town, and like there's all kinds of Chinese stuff and whatever. But like, yeah, the effects, the sunsets, everything is. I'm just here cutting weird wood trees with this weird magical bluey, silvery, glowy effects. It's just beautiful. Wolf, what you doing? What you drinking, brother?
Hello. I am sipping on the last of this monster because I am still trying to get back on normal time, courtesy of being in Las Vegas for the past week and having a grand old time. And now I'm running around Winsburg in the dark trying to not get hit by that wolf.
Oh yeah. All right. And we also have Ark. Hey Ark, how you doing? What you doing? What you drinking?
What up? I'm drinking a Bayreuther Helles beer.
All right.
And I am running around in Morningdale playing New World, freaking being hunted by many yellow hats, having a blast.
Dude, is everybody on this show right now also in New World running around? I think everyone but Ben said they were. Ben, are you playing New World right now?
I'm actually going to hit the 315 PTU.
Oh, nice. Good stuff. All right, so you know the show. We talk about whatever we feel like. It's very relaxed. It's low effort. It's very chill, and it's very casual. So let's start by, I first want to welcome the people. I know we started quick and we're going, so there's probably not even that many people on just at the moment. People end up sort of streaming in later as things go. I see Wintermute in the chat. Hey, brother, let me ask you, Wintermute, are you playing New World? And if not, why? It's the best. While we're waiting to hear an answer on that, Ben, why don't you take it away with, you had some stuff you wanted to talk about with regard to, what was it? There was 2 movies or something?
Yeah, so finally Venom came out in the UK. Yeah, I've done precious little exciting, but I did go see Venom last night. And have any of you guys actually seen it, or am I talking to myself here?
I have not yet, but feel free.
Okay, So Venom's obviously in the Sony side of the Marvel stuff. Fun enough movie. Woody Harrelson is epic in it. The relationship is epic. But probably the most important thing is just at the end of the movie in the post-credit thing,
Hmm.
you know, something swooshes, and we see Jameson talking about Tom Holland. Well, talking about Spider-Man. They're doing basically, the reveal scene that Peter Parker is Spider-Man from the end of the second Spider-Man film.
Mm-hmm.
Venom basically comes in with Eddie Brock, and the sort of weird swooshy thing. God knows what's happening. The room around them changes, and the Mexican soap opera they're watching turns into that report all revealing Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
Huh.
So,
And you
this-
see J. Jonah Jameson's like response, like,
no, you don't see. Well, he's like, Peter Parker's a menace, blah blah blah. But the key thing here is Venom somehow has jumped universes into the prime MCU one that we know.
wow,
Oh, that's neat.
that's cool.
Yeah.
And can we take a moment to sidebar real quick? And I need to ask this question: how exactly did we get to a point where the hottest chick in the entire universe, the MCU universe, is Aunt May? Like,
Yeah.
how did she's supposed to be like a 90-year-old lady? How did that happen?
Don't know, but she is hot, isn't she?
Oh,
Moisturize.
she is the most gorgeous
Yeah.
woman in the history of time.
But then again, I mean, let's face it, she's up against some hot competition as well. I mean, we've got Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah,
She's always got it.
yeah.
I've got a thing for Scarlett Johansson, especially when she's a redhead.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, Aunt May should not be
yeah.
in the running of those women, and yet she is.
See, well,
Who played Hela? It was God.
Kate Blanchett.
And
yeah,
I mean,
Kate Blanchett. Like,
and you can't forget Pepper Potts. I mean, I know as an
Oh, yeah,
actual
yeah,
human
yeah.
being, she's a wackadoodle, but as a chick on the screen, she's gorgeous. Yeah.
I don't know what she's like as an actual human being, but
I just know that she made a company where they sold. She's got a company called Goop or something, and they sold candles. I'm not even making this up. The scent of the candles is her vagina, and like she was on like Oprah saying, "Yeah, these
you
are
telling
these
me
are."
you would want to buy that?
I would not want
Yes.
to buy that. Nope, I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, I don't-
If I want candles, I want like vanilla. I want sugar cookie. I want some apple cinnamon.
you don't want some
whatever.
badge candle.
No,
You know what, tuna?
no.
I like my illumination
flavor.
of my vaginas to be nice and separate, personally.
Yes, 100%. I mean, just for
They're
just,
both lovely. They're both great.
if for
All at
no
the
other
same time.
reason, just to avoid the fire hazard.
Yeah, just basic safety, Ben.
Yep. But anyways, that was a weird detour that we just took.
Yeah.
We went something strange.
one of many for this show.
So yeah, okay. So that's cool stuff. That's cool stuff. And Suv, I know you watched what was it? Alien 3, yeah?
Yes, so I went over to some friends last night and we bought a metric mountain of junk food, and then watched Alien 3 as a continuation of our Alien series. We watched Alien 1 weeks and weeks ago, and I talked about that on the show, and then we watched Aliens, as in like Alien 2, a couple of weeks later.
And
last
speaking
night
of
we watched-
speaking of
Go on.
genitalia scented candles, what else did you watch?
we also watched Masters of the Universe from 1987.
The what's his name, Dolph Lundgren He-Man
Yes.
movie. And what
Yeah.
what was your assessment of that movie?
I've seen gay porn, which is straighter and just a generally more heterosexual experience than that film.
All right. So that's
Hold on, I want to hear more. Can we hear more about Souvarine watching gay porn?
maybe not. Maybe we'll save that for another show. Yeah. So that's yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's spectacular. It's just incredible. Like the man is like he's just wearing underpants. Like he's just wearing budgie smugglers the whole time, the whole film. He saves the universe in budgie smugglers. It's the best.
If I had
It's
a
incredible.
nickel for every time I've done that, yeah. All right. And so I watched episode 5 of Foundation, and holy cow, was it is amazing. I think Is there anyone else that is up to date on that show with me? I'm asking, hoping Wolf or Ark will
I'm
hop in.
catching up. I haven't had a chance to watch it, courtesy of being away from everything.
All right, no worries.
We're still on
But
season.
don't worry about spoiling it for me. I will happily watch it anyway.
You're still on what, Ark?
Me too, man. I'm still on episode 3. Everything's weird at the house, and my wife wants to watch that too. So it's on pause.
It's so good. It's so good. Okay, so we can't talk about that just yet. But yeah, all right. I feel like, I mean,
I
obviously.
watched the first episode of Foundation.
Well, let's talk about the first episode, because that's a month old at this point. There's no spoilers for anybody. It's literally 3 weeks old now. So
I'll give you my assessment. I can't remember if we talked about this. Chat, if we've talked about this, then let me know, because I know I've had this conversation with people, but I can't remember whether it was on the show or not.
We haven't.
But like, I thought Foundation was visually some of the most impressive sci-fi I've ever seen. Like I have never. Some of the vistas in the first episode are just spectacular. Like the water world where what's her face comes from, and she sails the boat and gets in the spacecraft, and then the
Trantix.
Trantor is the
No, Trantor, but it's like Tantalix or something. It's the one that's the anti-tech planet. Tantalus.
Yeah, correct, yeah, that one. And then the cityscapes on Trantor, and the jump sequence, and it's just visually incredible, like kaleidoscopically beautiful sci-fi, and generally like the set pieces and stuff, and some of the concepts that were also excellent. I really enjoyed the scenes with the emperors. That is different to how the emperors of the empire leadership is portrayed in the books.
100%.
And it's brilliant. It's really cool. And
But
the current emperor, Emperor Day himself, is cast really well. Like he's so kind of calm and threatening and even.
But at the same time, he has these brilliant little notes where he sits and his movements or whatever sort of betray this kind of hidden petulance where he'll make these little it's so well done, so reserved. Yeah.
It's excellent. I didn't love. I think some of the writing and some of the. I don't think the acting is necessarily bad. I think the direction and the writing are a bit off sometimes, particularly the direction. I feel like in the first episode, at least, too many of the characters weren't allowed to just be at all. I feel like all the characters did was bark exposition at each other or say silly portentous stuff like, "Master, the delegation from blah 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 is here to see you." Like none of the characters were ever allowed to just be. Like nobody ever said like, "Hey, I'm gonna go get a sandwich" or whatever. Like it was just endless high stakes sci-fi stuff, and no interesting kind of characters getting to know each other or just inhabiting the set or just I don't know, just doing lifelike things. And there's a couple of examples of that I sort of picked up on, like where a character would react to something in a really implausible way. Like for example, when what's her face, the girl who was being
Gail.
set up as the lead,
Gail.
Gail meets
Harry Seldon.
Meets Harry Seldon for the first time. They're chatting away and having a lovely time, and then he says, "But tomorrow we will both be arrested," and she just goes, "How could you?" And I'm just like, no, hold on, what? If you're having a nice chat with somebody and then they suddenly say, "We're both going to be arrested tomorrow," you would go through a journey of, "I'm sorry, what? Like, what are you talking about? Explain." You'd go through incredulity to confusion to
True.
anger to denial. Yeah. But she just goes. The direction was like, "Oh no." She just has to go straight to, "No, how could you?" And I was just like, that's just not how people work. Like I just feel, and I kept feeling stuff like that all the way through the first episode, where people just wouldn't respond to stuff in plausible ways, and I just felt like the directors were trying to be like, moving on, get it moving. So yeah, like I came away from it being like, I've never been so impressed by a new series in terms like visually, but also very frustrated by some of the like what I felt was quite ham directing, if that makes sense.
If I remember correctly, though, you did later message me and said, "Oh, I kept watching, and as the episode went on, it got better."
It did get better, yeah. It did, definitely. Yeah. And that's because the plot picked up. You know, when the big thing falls down and it wraps around the planet, and you've got event, loads of stuff happening. It really gathers momentum, and you're like, what's going to happen next? Like, I'm really invested now. And by the end of it, I was just like, "Oh, this is good. I can't wait to watch the next one."
Spoiler alert: Episode 1 contains the biggest ever fail at Jenga. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So it's. I think as it goes on even further, you will be more and more impressed. I find it to be just amazing, and I agree. But I think while I think your criticism is well founded, I think it's also sort of a truism of the first episode of Game of Thrones, or the first episode of The Expanse, or the first episode of a lot of things where it's like, we have to keep it moving. We got a lot to cram in here. We're trying to cram in 4 hours worth of stuff into a 2-hour pilot, and B, we have to establish the universe, establish who these people are and why they are, how they are, and whatever, so that when the action kicks in, you kind of have a reason to understand sort of some of the choices that they make, or what have you. So but I absolutely love it. So first off, Isaac Asimov was known as being not the best writer with regard to character development and whatnot. He was more of an idea, and he was more about the what, and then the who. And I think that the changes that they made with regard to Empire, where you have dawn, day, and dusk, is amazing. I think.
Yeah, they're brilliant. They're really good.
Yeah, I think it's all just so well done. Yeah, so well done. And there's also some stuff that you haven't sort of gotten to the point where I think it really gets you yet, but you'll get to some stuff with later on with the people as they settle on Trantor. That is not Trantor, Terminus.
Yeah, Terminus,
that is like, oh my god. And let me just say, without giving any spoilers, because I don't want to ruin it, for anybody who is up to date and ended on where episode 5 ended just 2 days ago, holy shit. I'm like, wait, you got to explain to me how they did this. So I cannot wait for next week to see where it comes out. But that's on Apple TV. I highly recommend that you watch it however you choose to watch it. I'm not saying you should subscribe to anything. I'm just saying you should watch it. You fill in the blanks. All right. Does anybody have anything else before we hop into New World stuff? Because we're about the whole rest of the show is going to be New World. Anybody got anything at all? Speak up now or forever hold your piss.
Just 2 things on Disney real quick. I just
right.
happened to notice, and maybe everyone knows already, but you can watch Free Guy, and they're free right now on Disney.
Oh, cool.
And you can
That was
also
such a good
see,
movie.
I didn't see it.
The what's it called? Black Widow.
Oh,
Yeah, 2 things definitely worth watching.
Black Widow is definitely something I want to watch alone at home. Not for any reason other than I don't want anybody talking over it and bugging me. That's all. Well,
You don't want anyone disturbing you over Free Guy either.
Free Guy is the one where what's his name is NPC in a video game, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. I want to see that.
Ryan Reynolds plays a NPC that becomes
Sentient.
self-aware.
Yeah. I want to see that one. I really do want to see that one. So
I was watching that movie.
It's Ryan Reynolds plays Ryan Reynolds, obviously.
Yeah, obviously. But I was watching that movie, and it reminded me a lot of somebody had watched Epic NPC Man from Viva La Dirt League one too many times. It's like, you know what? We can make a movie out of this, and they did.
Hey,
yeah,
Ark, on a completely unrelated note, remind me to talk to you later about your Disney Plus password. Not to do with anything.
Cool.
All right. So anybody else? Last call, and then we're gonna New World it up.
I mean, the only other thing I might mention is it was the last episode of Star Trek Lower Decks last Friday for this season.
I saw the first episode of the season because they let everybody watch it, and then the rest of it was like that bullshit of like, hey, get CBS Plus. I thought the first episode, that was the one where like,
oh my god,
the mom and the daughter were having like this weird like thing where they're like, oh, we're friends, and then they finally realize, let's just go back to not liking each other.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really funny, and the dude get the power of a god. I thought it was funny. I dug it. It's the only episode of that show I've saw because I've refused to pay for CBS Plus.
Yeah, as you would say, as you mentioned for Foundation, there are ways and means.
Fair.
I get it all. Do you have Amazon Prime, Kai?
I do.
Do you have a VPN?
I do not.
That can be arranged.
Okay. We'll talk later.
Get a VPN, pretend you're in the UK.
We'll talk
later. Then you
later.
can watch on Prime.
Right on.
And by that, it means I will be the one setting it up for him.
Yes, that is.
Thank you, Wolf Dragon.
That is exactly what that means. So all right. So where does this guy? Okay, here I gotta kill him.
Okay, so
go ahead.
Rounding that conversation off in 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
I would argue this is the best Star Trek that's been produced. It's better than Picard. It's better than
second
Discovery.
best. Second best. Orville's the best.
Oh well, yeah, okay.
Which one? Sorry.
I think Star Trek Lower Decks is
Lower
way
Decks.
better than Discovery and better than Picard as well. It honors Star Trek so much more than the other two shows do. And it's got so many beautiful nods in it. The art is lovely. The stories are good. There's actually character progression. And it's not trying to be edgy or whatever the hell the other two are trying to do. It's just trying to be damn good Star Trek. And it succeeds at it.
It also feels that a certain amount of Star Trek today seems... I don't know. I don't want to get into it. It seems it's a political whatever, but like it seems like Star Trek. Just to put it as briefly and as vaguely as possible, Star Trek of the olden days was like trying to sort of show the utopia that the future can be, whereas some of the Star Trek of today seems to me like it's very much sort of preachy in a negative way and showing you who to not like, and it's like, come on, can we get past that, please, and just have sci-fi in my sci-fi? I'm not even that I'm not on your team. I'm on your team. I just don't want it there.
We can all just be on one team. Why do we need teams?
Yes, 100%.
Which is the whole freaking point of the United Federation of Planets.
Yeah, it's that we love everybody. It's not that white guys are evil. Like, whatever. Anyways, never mind. But collect dryad wood from dryads. Okay, well, I guess I got to keep killing dryads. All right, let's transition into New World stuff. First off, server transfers are coming next week. They're coming early. They literally posted a thing saying they had them ready, but they didn't want to put them out on the weekend. So I expect it'll be tomorrow or Tuesday that we'll actually get the server transfer tokens or whatever. It's going to be, here's what it's going to be. It's not a free thing. They're charging for them. It's in the stores and you have to pay. But everyone gets one for free. So it's free this once, and then you can have as many of them as you like or whatever with whatever rules they're going to announce with it in the future where you buy it on the store.
Actually, I can see the prices posted on the store. It looks like it's $5 US.
Oh, that's super cheap.
For the thing. Let me
The first one is free.
see.
They've said clearly that the first one is the one that they're giving us to help with the fact that they told people, hey, just pick another server and start. They said everyone gets one free.
All right, so I'm looking at the store right now. I went to World Transfer. Up at the top, I see 5,000, whatever this currency is. I don't know if that's because we got 5,000 of it for free or whatnot.
We'll call them guinea quids. 5,000 guinea quids.
Okay, so there's no entries here for price, but did we get 5,000 guinea quids for free for buying the game early or being early access or whatnot?
No clue. I got stuff.
Okay.
We did get some kind of stuff for the deluxe package, and I
didn't get the deluxe package.
I also got, well, here's what you got it for. You got 5,000 free for linking your Amazon Gaming Prime account.
Oh, okay, that's what. Okay, yeah, okay. So I went to the. All right, so they're not called guinea quids. They're called marks of fortune, but I like guinea quids better. Current balance 5,000. 5,000 is $4.99.
That's super cheap.
Maybe they'll make it. Maybe they'll make it for free. For hey, thanks for linking up. You get this one for free, and if anybody else wants to do one later, it's the cost of linking up. Complete supposition on my part, but
So
it can't be that much to move it.
No, they literally. So first off, that's a good price because most games cost you like $10 to $15 to do the transfer, like Final Fantasy 14 or WoW or whatever. But in addition to that, there's the thing that they are giving everyone the first one free. They've already said in an announcement that they posted in writing, like late last week. They said your first one will be free. After that, it'll just be on the store for everyone to buy. So it's a thing that costs, but they're giving everybody the one for free. In addition to this, it's a situation of they're allowing. Okay, so the servers are already like calming down to the point where I don't even know if we're going to need to move. We may end up moving off of Sitara's server. I want to wait to see when these transfers come out and to see how many people leave and whatnot, how many people come in, and before we decide if we're moving or not. We may move. And if not, great. That makes it even easier. But if so, it's awesome that they gave us this ability. In addition, I want to remind everybody, because Wolf reminded me when he talked about that, where did these 5,000 I have come from? And it's like, oh, it came from the first round of you linking your Amazon Gamer Prime to the thing. The second round is up now. It's been up for like 3 days. It's available, and it's going to be available for the next week and a half. They are available. So we will remind you on the show, but go every 2 weeks and collect your free Amazon Prime stuff. They're literally just giving you free shit every 2 weeks, probably forever. They have them listed going till the end of the year, but it's probably that at that point they're gonna, because somebody was saying that in a talk that they did a long time back, like a year ago, they said one thing that they want to do is use this game as a added value for people to sell people on, hey man, this is why you should hold on to your Amazon Prime, keep it up, because just how they give you free TV shows and movies on Prime Plus, and they give you free shipping, and they give you free stuff already with Twitch and whatever, they're going to give you more free stuff. So that's legit. Take advantage of it. Get your free shit. Yeah. Does anybody have anything on that, on the transfers, thoughts? I know Ark's got some thoughts and feels about probably wanting to stay, it seems like, based on our previous conversation.
I have I think it's a real shame that Amazon can't do regional transfers, because like we live in a very global world, and our company is evidence that regions, like, they don't dictate who you play with. Like, our company is quite evenly split between EU, US, and even a couple of Australia.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a real shame that there is a regional barrier, because really I'm staggered by how well this game plays. It would be impressive if it wasn't for the fact that I'm playing on a server on the other side of the world. I've not seen a single piece of rubber banding in this game, and I'm playing on a server in North America, and I'm sat here in London.
Right on.
So that's pretty amazing. And we were talking a bit earlier about how the Souvette is loving it, and I would like to get her in the company as well. But they can't do regional transfers. So I think it's regrettable, and I wish that they could. And I think it is regrettable that they mixed the messaging up on it as well, because it's the kind of thing that the gaming press will just leap upon as evidence of Amazon don't know what they're doing. Da, 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 da.
Well, there will for sure be mistakes that are made, as there are with any project. But I think 100% you're right. I think that I think this is a situation where it's like they're doing 99 things amazingly well, and then there's that one where you're like, oh, I wish you guys could maybe change that a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah. With regard to
the only reason I'm nitpicking is because they're doing everything else so well, basically.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Speaking of the current camp for whatever they have for drops, what is the methodology for getting that? Is it watching Twitch streams again?
Nope.
Okay.
So you have to go to, just Google Amazon Gaming Prime or whatever, and it'll show you the thing, and you go to, there's a website for like gaming.amazon.prime or gamingprime.amazon something, and you go there just like you did the last one, and you click to say like claim my reward as being an Amazon whatever user. And for those people who don't know, that not only does that give you cool New World shit, that gives you cool shit in general. Like last time when I went to claim this thing, they were like, "Oh, you can also have Alien Isolation for free, and you can also have this other game for free." And it was like, "Wait, what? Okay, cool."
Yeah, they were giving away Star Wars Squadrons the other day.
Yep, Squadrons was the other one that I was trying to remember. Also, I want to take a moment, Suv. I want to bring you back into the convo on this. Take a second, please, and elaborate on the situation with the Souvette, because I think this game, for those who haven't played this game and don't know, this game is something very, very special, and you should know.
Yeah, like this is remarkable. I'm not. I'm a reasonably casual gamer myself. Like I'm definitely not going to be one of our pro PvP players or whatever. But I have been playing PC games for quite a few years. I'm on my second or third gaming PC. I stay reasonably on top of stuff, and I'm generally quite into games and would list them as a hobby. The Souvette is the most casual of casual gamers. Like
just for those who don't know, the Souvette, he's talking about his wife, because he's Suv, so she's the Souvette. Go ahead, sorry.
Correct. Yeah. So she loves Mario. She did love Breath of the Wild. She thought that was brilliant. But that's the only kind of quite sort of what I'd call like a sort of more serious type thing. And she's literally just arrived.
Area is burning.
Yeah. And but broadly, she mostly likes games like Mario Odyssey on the Switch, and she's nodding. I think she's drunk. And sort of fairly kind of easygoing platformers and stuff. And she absolutely loves this game, and has been yesterday kept saying, "Oh, I'm going to go and play it for another hour or two." And it's really surprised me, because it's the first time that she and I have about the same game have both been really into it, and we come from quite different ends of the spectrum, so to speak. And as well, and then you've got people who are quite a lot more serious than me, who get really into like the minutiae of PvP builds and real min-maxing and that kind of thing. And I feel like this is a uniquely broad church, in that whatever your attitude, whatever kind of experience you're looking for, I think New World will provide it for quite a wide range of players. And one thing that this game has that's really great is that this is the first time that the Souvette and I have found a game that realistically we can both be like, oh yeah, we can't wait to play that together. Whereas previously, one of us would kind of be humoring the other, if that makes sense.
Nice. All right.
And you can do that.
Yeah, it's very cool.
It's a really, like, it's a real great thing for this game, I reckon. Like it's a real like, I kind of feel like saying hats off Amazon, you've done a really good job. This is a real achievement that you've managed to create something that has that wider appeal.
Right on. So I see DJ Wiley in the chat, and I know he was interested at one point in New World, and I see other people in the what would you say for those people out there who are thinking about it? Anyone hop in on this. What would you talk about for this game? How would you describe it, and what would you say about it?
I've actually got something for this.
Go ahead.
So I played Guild Wars 2 for a while. I played Black Desert Online for a little while. I haven't played, like, I didn't spend much time in World of Warcraft. It didn't look like fun to me, and at the time it came out, I wasn't interested in games like that at all. I've played a smattering of other MMOs, and they're always a flash in the pan to me if I get into them at all. I don't see that happening for New World. The thing that I really like to do are the jobs. Like the main storyline quests are really cool. They're very well written. The side quest stuff, there's lots of great storytelling in the game. All of them have good storytelling, quote unquote. But to me, like, what's going to give long-term purpose in the game? It's like getting good at doing things, maybe not for, the group, but if anything, just for myself to be like, yeah, I can finally make this ridiculously awesome thing that I've been working for however many hours to get. And there's loads of them. Now, when that runs out, what's going to happen? Well, by that time, I'm going to be, interested in seeing what more to the story there is. Because there's going to be extensions to the game, DLCs, blah, 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 that kind of thing. So I find I'm going to be very entertained for a good long while by this game, and I'm very happy to see that. Also, it's fucking beautiful.
It is so beautiful. Jesus. There's so many things. For me, I shared my screen earlier with people. I was running around at Ebonscale, and I was running up the side of this mountain, and you could see off in the distance, and I swear to God, it's so far away that the draw distance is such that you would not see this in any other games. It's so far away, and you can see this crazy Chinese mountain temple ruins thing off in the distance. And I was just like, I shared it with people, and everybody was like, holy fuck, what is that? And we all have had, I want to go around and give everybody a chance to share one of your holy fuck moments where you just saw a thing and it stopped you, it staggered you in your tracks. That was mine. Wolf, share yours.
I was out hunting iron, like you do, and
Always.
I was scaling up the side of a mountain, and I was completely in the dark, just working my way around, trying to platform and climb up the side of this thing, and okay, that's a dead end, work around, whatever. Well, by the time I had summoned the mountain so that I could have a look around and let the little thing for the compass show me where I needed to go next, because I knew there were rocks, but I just didn't know where they were. I looked over to where the rocks were, and maybe 10 seconds later, that sunrise started. I'm overlooking a valley, and the sunrise started illuminating the whole valley in front of me. And I stayed there for a good 10 minutes just watching everything get more brighter lit and showing off all the beautiful landscape. I wouldn't do nothing. I had to eat food again just because the timer ran out. I don't care. This is pretty.
Hell yeah.
I was doing something. I forgot what it was. This is pretty.
Hell yeah. Ark.
Yeah, I was going to meet, I think, Bio and Control at this one church, and and it had been just the perfect time that I was coming up from a lower elevation, and they were waiting up there, and it was a church sitting on top of this mountain, and then it was perfect timing with the sunset. And I put the picture actually in our chat, but it was insane. The shadows, the church, those two dudes, their silhouettes sitting on top of the mountain, and me looking up at them. I mean, that's just an epic moment, right? You'd be hard pressed to capture that in a modern day movie.
Hell yeah.
I think that's that's one of the great things this game brings. Everyone's always talking about the sound, but there's a shit ton of visuals that just absolutely are stunning. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That blew my mind.
Hell yeah.
Well, the sound design's amazing. I've been able to use the sound design to know, okay, can't go hunt iron here. I hear 3 different people smacking away at rocks.
It's brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Let's see. Ben.
Yeah, quite like the other guys. I think I was going from, I was going to somewhere on the coast, and I can't remember where it was. And I made this decision, okay, I'm going to climb over this mountain to get there, rather than running through 3 different zones to get round the thing. And, I was jumping up the mountain. I was like, okay, you got mountain, and I was getting the iron and getting this and getting that. And then all of a sudden I crested the ridge of the mountain. And again, it's just like looking out, and I could see the haze of the ocean in the distance, with the city that I was going to a little bit closer, with all the other shit I have to get through to get there. And it's just like, I just sort of like the other guys, they just sort of stopped on this ridge of the mountain, let other people steal the iron, while I was just going, that is pretty.
Yeah, how crazy is it that you can see a city, like you can be on the other end of the zone, and like this has no limits on the draw distance. You can just see forever. So you can make out stuff just like in real life where it's like, in most MMOs, when you get to the point where it's like, oh, there's the city over there, it's one of those deals where it's like you get within a certain range and then it just pops up and it's like magically it's there. With this one, you see it. You can see a city from a zone and a half away as just a dot if you know where to look for it. Like if it's nighttime and the lights are out, you could just see a one little lit dot, like 1 pixel. And then over the course of like a 10-minute run there, you just see it get sort of larger and larger. It's crazy. Suv.
One thing that doesn't follow that are the mobs. There are instances where if your camera's just right, you'll get them to pop in and out.
Yeah. Suv, what's your one thing? Did we do?
I think probably sunsets in Windswood. There's a bit where when the sun gets low, it's probably going to happen in a few minutes actually. The light starts to cast really long shadows like it does in real life, and your shadow you can see your shadow on the ground get longer and longer, and actually you start to see kind of shadows on the grass get longer. So like the plants around you will start casting longer shadows, and the grass will, and the trees will, and all the time they're moving, and the light gets kind of sort of soft and yellow, and the game generally has like a sort of a weird filter whereby everything in the distance kind of looks a little bit hazy, which is kind of realistic and also quite stylized. I don't know, it does remind me of like certain scenes at certain times of day in real life, but at the same time it still looks quite sort of it reminds me of Breath of the Wild. Yeah, filtered, I guess. But those sunsets, like my graphics card is from 2018, I think. It's a 1070 Ti, and I should at this point be having to scale stuff down to sort of medium graphics to get decent performance, and I've got everything turned up to max on this. And so like I've got all the grass swaying, and there's no pop in, and it's visible. There's no, the foliage and stuff doesn't pop in at a distance. It's all just there. And I'm still getting at least 50 frames per second, sort of running around and doing stuff. And seeing that sunset and seeing those seeing the shadows lengthen from the actual grass, like it's just mind blowing. It's incredibly beautiful. It's prettier than. I think I'm not going to claim that I've played every modern game under the sun, because I don't play a lot of modern games, but like this is easily the prettiest game that I've ever played, I think.
And have you noticed, just if you stop, you both see and hear the trees swaying in the wind?
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like people, like I don't think I think this is one game where screenshots don't really do it justice, because it's the constant slight motion of everything which makes it so immersive. Screenshots just capture your dude standing in a sort of a kind of stylized bucolic setting, but it's actually, and that doesn't really do justice to how alive the world feels, and that is all from the fact that everything is just swaying a little bit in the wind.
Look at right now on the screen, you can see I was cutting down trees, and it's just, look at that. In the jungle, you see all of the trees swaying in the wind, and they're swaying it slightly different. They're not like exactly the same. They're swaying in their own way. And then in the far background, you can see, just barely make out that one mountain in the back through the clouds. It's just, oof, I can't even. It's what was that line from Jodie Foster from Contact, where she's like, no words. That's how I feel, man. It's legit. And I saw somebody in the chat made a comment like, I think Amazon has figured out some way to pass us drugs through the internet or whatever, because we're all hypnotized and we can't stop playing. Like, legitimately, I don't know anyone who's like, yeah, that game was all right, but I don't feel like playing it. Like, everybody who plays it is like, it's like, remember there was that one episode of Star Trek The Next Generation where Wesley had a little Game Boy game, and like everybody somehow got addicted to it and they couldn't stop.
Yeah.
It's that was the one with Ashley Judd, where she was like a 12-year-old Ashley Judd or whatever. But like, oh my God, it's this game is just crack, bro. It's
We were talking about it earlier. It's interesting because instead of trying to figure out a different mechanic for an MMO to like make grindy quests better or some nuanced way to do it, instead what they did is they said, well, how about if you're gonna have to do this thing to get that thing, which it's very difficult to kind of like make that go away in an MMO, then we'll just make the environment just absolutely amazing so that you don't notice the time. And I think
yeah.
that's that's right.
Yeah.
You just don't notice the time, but before you know it, you just cut down, trees and shots of wolves and did some other things, and it's 4 hours later.
It's not just the chopping down of the trees or the killing of the wolves, though. It's like, when you're cutting down that tree and the tree's falling, that's like, I was watching this tree just go down, and it was like, oh my god, that tree is laying on that tree. And in fact, this only criticism I would have is I was trying to get my trees to domino, and I wanted that tree to lay on that tree, but by the time I'd finished chopping the second tree down, my first tree had just disappeared. I wanted to last just another 10 seconds, just so I could watch them both crash down to the ground.
That's
Yeah,
a
and
really
they
good
should be persistent too. If they could find a way for at least a small amount of time, like they do in Valheim, to make them persistent, to where you could tactically take a tree down, that slows down the approach of some other players, for example,
or lands on them.
and do something.
Yeah,
or that,
could you
or
imagine if you could
lands on 'em.
squish people with your tree?
Sure.
That'd be so
that-
much fun.
Dude, that would open up so much YouTube marketing for them.
Oh god,
'Cause
yeah.
Kids would be doing that all the time. They do that in Valheim all the time. They're always like showcasing videos where like some chucklehead chops a tree on somebody else or something. If they could make environmental kind of hazards like that player induced, that would be next level.
Yeah, I think Ark touched on something really, really good there. I just want to go back to though the fact that the quest design in New World is not revolutionary. Like these quests are the same things that people in MMOs have been doing for decades.
Baldur's Gate.
Mostly, yeah.
like
Mostly.
mostly, yeah. But like the humdrum quests, the everyday like busy work quests, go and hunt 8 wolves, go and chop down 50 trees, all that sort of thing. That, as Ark said, they haven't. This isn't great. We are not all still playing this weeks later and absolutely adoring it because they've suddenly managed to come up with much more exciting MMO quests. That's not actually it. Like some of the quests are better, but like broadly, they haven't reinvented the wheel with the quests. All they've done is make the simple act of being in the world so fucking lovely that you no longer think of them as bore lake busy work quests.
Mhm.
You take a quest to go off and, I don't know, skin 12 turkeys or something, and you're just like, sweet, I get to go out and be in the world. Awesome. And all the audio visual stuff, like the sound of your axe hitting the log and the sound of your pickaxe mining the iron and that kind of thing. It's about the most satisfying crafting I've ever seen done in a game. Like everything about it, the timings, the audio feedback, the visuals, it's just like just great dopamine hits. So they've just thought, right, we can't change the fact that in an MMO doing humdrum quests is always going to be a little bit, those quests structurally are going to be a bit underwhelming. The way they've made that great is just by making the world an incredible place to be, basically.
Like, who else here has had the feeling of you gotta log off? It's one of those deals, like, logging off to me has been like, I'm passing out now. I'm literally like, I don't leave before I have to, or it's like, hey, work's in an hour, and coming home, I'm literally driving home and I'm like, all right, look, I don't really need to eat. I'm not that hungry. I can just get a beer and I can log in, and whatever. I'll probably eat later tonight. Like, whatever. Look at these look at this alligator here. Check this out on the screen. If you just see them now, if you come across them and you piss them off, they'll stalk or whatever. But let me just crawl over here, real sneaky like, because it lowers my aggro range to the mobs. If you see an alligator out in the world and nobody's fighting them, oh, he walked away. They'll sit there with their mouth open and do this weird thing that apparently alligators do IRL. And the same thing with like pigs and bison. They'll roll around on the ground to like scratch their back if no one's around and they're not aggroing shit. Like, it's just the attention to detail on all of this. Suv is exactly right. They just It's not. No, no. Don't get me wrong. The game is amazing, and the class system is great, and the way that they aim, like, or classless system, the way that you aim dynamically is great. The way that you can do all of the crafting and gathering is great. So many of the choices is great, but the world itself is the selling point. Like this amazing view. Look it up. You can see the clouds and the sun. Look at that right there. You can just barely make it out because it's almost straight up, but like off in the distance, there's a mountain there with a massive castle thing. And like, do you know how far away that is? That's so far away from where I'm at. That is like so far away, but you can make out all of the details. As I'm running, looking straight up, I'm going to run right into an alligator that's going to eat me. But like, look at that. That shit is amazing. The sounds are amazing. The graphics are amazing. The UI is amazing. We looked earlier today, we were like, you know what? I wish they put in something where you could have some gear and you said, I want to keep this. I don't want to get rid of it. And then we found, yeah, there's a thing. You right click on the gear and under where you can salvage, you can repair it, you can whatever, you can lock it, which basically says, hey, I don't want to sell this or salvage it by accident. I'll lock it and then I can't mess it up. You know, you have the diversity of the creatures. Look at this. Look at this lion jobby out here. Look at this dude. Look at this lion. What? He's got paws the size of my head. He's got paws the size of my head, bro. He's taller than me on all fours.
And you'll look damn good as a throw rug in your house.
Look at this dude. This guy, look at the size of his paw. Like, Jesus. The different, like, here's a tree right here, but this is a bamboo tree because this is like the Asia area. Like, and you can cut down all of the trees. You can literally, and when, you know, when they fall, they make those little crackling noises and whatever, and the trees are different in the different zones. You can parkour and jump around on the different places and, you know, figure out how to get somewhere and climb up shit. You can, the freedoms of this game are just staggering. Look at this. Look at this. Let's climb up here and then look at this in from the top of this little mini peak. Is that, can I mine that? No. Okay. From the top of this mini peak, let's look at, there's the town that I came from earlier. And above it is this mountain. And then over there, there's another mountain with, there's something on the top of it. I can't tell what it looks like, a big water wheel or something. You can barely make it out. Let's climb up here and do a full 360 of this one zone. One zone of the many zones in this game. How do I get up here? All right, let me put. Come on, jump and grab it. All right, here we go. There we go. You can just parkour up about anything. Look, I'm going to do a 360 view. So over there, you see a light that tells you there's a teleport shrine. Then there's these hills and mountains and whatnot. There's some kind of bridge off there in the distance, clouds, whatever. Over there, there's a mountain with a water wheel. There's the town I was at. Above that, there's like a more town, like housing, private, whatever. Behind that whole mountain, there's another mountain that's much higher. You have to come at from the other side that has some kind of crazy castle. Over there, there's a mountain with something glinting off the top. I have no clue what it is. There's another teleport shrine light. And then some kind of tall mountain there and there with stuff. Like, Jesus Christ, this game just takes my breath away constantly. I want to start with start to express, I got to go grab another beer. Start to express some of your stuff and just pass it around and I'll be right back.
I don't know how to express stuff.
Last week's show, we talked about things that we would like to see changed and added. What would you like to see?
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess there's a few. I guess there's a little bit of quality of life stuff that I would like to see, and I guess the thing that I need to make clear is that I might not fully. There's things about the game that I don't know yet, and it might be that some of the things I'm complaining about there are actually ways to fix that I don't know. I think there's a couple of little quality of life things that I've noticed that I'd love for Amazon to implement. So and it's just about linking UI bits together. So if you're looking at a craft mod, and it has a boost to a perk, it would be great for the game to tell you which weapon that perk was associated with, for example. And when you just come out of a dungeon or an expedition, I think as the game calls them, it would be great if you and your party members, your group members, could pool together all the loot that you'd collected, so that everybody, everybody could put into the pool stuff that they didn't want, so that everybody could share, so that the healer could get the healing staff and the tank could get the best shield and all that sort of thing. Because we find that when we come out of dungeons, there's a bit of okay, well, I'm looking for this. Has anybody got that? No. Well, I'm looking for this. And there are ways to use the UI to make that kind of thing a bit easier. But
but invariably half the good things you find are bind on pickup. What we want, I guess, is some kind of bind to party.
Yeah, that would be good. That would be a good solution. And that brings me on to another thing that I think could be improved, and that is a little bit of the game does a very good job of making loads of things kind of organic and social, and it's got quite a free market economy, in that every settlement and by extension every territory has its own economy. So you can do things like buy cheap in one province and then run across the map and sell high at another, which is great. That's brilliant. That's unplanned gameplay that's really profitable and fun. But the game does kind of throttles freedom in a couple of ways. So, for example, one thing that we've noticed when we come out of the expeditions, which are brilliant fun, by the way, but when we come out of the expeditions, probably maybe a third to a half of the gear we get is what the game calls bind on pickup, which means that it binds to the player as soon as it enters your inventory, which means that you can't give it to anyone or sell it to anyone. And we think the reason they've done it is so that new players can only get the cool gear when they do the expedition, and they can't ruin it for themselves by buying it from the market. But I kind of feel like that is an element of control that I wish Amazon hadn't I kind of wish they hadn't put that restriction in place, because it just means that if you are not using, if I pick up a really good hatchet or a weapon that boosts an attribute that I'm not focusing on, it's basically useless to me. So all I'm going to do is salvage it, which means basically delete it and get a couple of repair parts for it.
The only thing, I mean, I guess in some ways, so that's maybe a good thing, because I have noticed, especially since I started playing a healer build, my DPS went down significantly, obviously, and my ability to kill stuff and survive things went down, which meant my death rate went up, and I actually managed to run out of available repair things.
Yeah, I've had that as well. Yeah, we've noticed that.
So you do need that steady churn of, I need shit to repair.
That's true. I think it could be more elegantly done by either letting you buy repair things at a market, or
Well, you can, but they're
you can buy repair
expensive.
kits. Yeah, but I mean repair parts. I don't think the way to I don't think the best way to make sure the player has access to repair parts is to encourage them to scrap really valuable, exciting, rare things. And that's basically the way the expeditions work at the moment. I come out of it and I'm like, okay, here we go, scrap. And the stuff I'm scrapping, if I was allowed to sell it on the market, would probably get a good price.
Shit.
Yeah, it's good shit. And I kind of feel like that it has a couple of effects. One, it means that you only actually find useful a small percentage of the stuff you get from expeditions. Two, it kind of cheapens the game's own economy in a way. Like, the game encourages you to think okay, green stuff is better than grey stuff, but blue stuff is better than green stuff. And if you're scrapping, if you find yourself salvaging blue stuff because you've got no use for it and it's bind on pickup, so you can't give it to anyone, and if you've got a great hatchet that boosts dexterity, and your party member, your mate, uses a hatchet and focuses on dexterity, and you're like, sorry buddy, I've just got to scrap it, even though it's worth loads of gold and it would be super useful to you, I've just got to scrap it. I don't know. It's a tiny niggle, and I just wish that there's that Amazon had been a bit more committed to their own idea of total free market economy.
At
And
the
the other
same
thing,
at the same
Go on, sorry.
time, there is also the fact though that this is vanilla. This is 1.0 of the game. Now they've got another patch that's going to be coming out in a month or two that's going to have more dungeons and more zone and more whatever. But considering what they have right now, the sort of the little that they have right now, whenever you first launch a game for any title, it's kind of a situation where a lot of games start off that way, and because they're like, hey man, we need everybody to run the same dungeons over and over and over for the first couple months, because we are not a 6-year-old, 10-year-old game that has 5 expansions worth of stuff where we have, each expansion for 5 years has 4 dungeons. Now they're releasing like 6 dungeons in like a month and a half. And at that point, maybe they start to make some ease up on some of that. But for right now, I think they kind of have to keep people busy. I cut Ark off, I think, and I wanted to let him go.
That's kind of a staple in MMOs too. Like most MMOs do that, but like as you say, over time they figure it out. Like for example, Elder Scrolls would allow you to trade the items within your group. So before you leave the dungeon, or within like an hour of completing the dungeon, you can trade any item within the group you're in, which adds, of course, value to those items. And then the other thing that's kind of broke is they've got a I think the salvaging thing, if it's a green, purple, blue item, it has to give you a little bit more. It should give you, for example, purple, green, or blue mats, which would then make salvaging purple mats and things, or purple items and things like that, make more sense.
Yeah.
Or if nothing else, if you salvage, a regular, a gray item, it gives you mats. If you salvage a green item, which is uncommon, it gives you maybe 5x. If you salvage a blue item, which is rare, it gives you 10x, or whatever. And then an epic purple, you're talking 15, 20x, and an orange, maybe 50x or whatever. Just something that it's like, wow, it has that feel.
Yeah. I think, and linked to that, I think this kind of idea of like how much is the game committing to its own ideas, and this isn't like, these aren't big criticisms. These are little things these are little niggles that stick out because so much of the rest of the experience is really smooth and enjoyable. But another thing is, and this is something that I noticed because the Souvette is playing it solo. Eventually we'll play it together, but I've currently got Steam library sharing on, so basically she plays. If I'm not playing, she might log in and play. She's not playing on my account, but I've shared the title with her Steam account, so she's playing it. And because it's on family sharing, we can't play it at the same time.
Nice.
So she hasn't actually bought it yet, which means that we're not playing together yet. But so she's mostly playing on her own. And one thing that I'm acutely aware of is that you can't. There's this main story quests bottleneck at expeditions at several points throughout the campaign, which you can't do alone. So at some point, unless we manage to get, unless I'm high enough level that I can do it with her, and we don't need, and we're going to need another party member anyway. So actually we can't avoid it. At some point, she's going to have to address if she wants to keep playing the game and get through that story, she's going to need to play. She's going to need to solicit the help of strangers, basically.
Actually, new plan, better plan. I'm gonna buy the game for Souvette as a gift on Steam. And I'm gonna buy it with the caveat that she has to play on Satara server, NA East, with you and us here, and then she's gonna have the whole Black Sky Legion family to run dungeons and everything with her.
That's true. And then she'll be spoiled for choice. Absolutely.
Hell
but
yeah.
not everyone has a beneficent Kaizen waiting in the wings to gift them the game. And
if you're listening to this show, you have a beneficent Kaizen. Just message me, bro. If $40 is hurting you right now, message me. I got you.
There is another aspect of this I just want to quickly raise. I've not experienced it in New World, but I remember back in the day, ... some of my best experiences have been grouping up with random strangers to run dungeons.
Yeah, I mean those can
that's
go
how,
great
that's how
or
friends
horrible.
make.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those can go great or horrible. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely true, and I know that is and it's completely valid, and it's and at the end of the day, it's called an MMO for a reason. But it is still, there are always going to be people who are just like, nah. I know that strangers can be lovely. I know that it's an MMO. I know all of these things. I just want to do the fucking thing on my own.
Also,
And
go
and
ahead.
like I kind of and I what one answer to that is, sorry, bro, it's an MMO. That's the way it's always going to be. Like, yeah, okay, it bottlenecks you to group up with strangers, but get with the program. If you don't like it, play another game. If that's the way that Amazon want to go with it, then fair enough, and I can't say I blame them. But I would like it if they were like, no, it would be cool if you could play this completely on your own without needing to party up with strangers. And
Especially, sorry, go ahead.
in the spirit of making it as free, because there's so much of the game that they've let people just approach it from however they like. It's a completely free form experience, and I'd quite like it if they extended the same, if the same went for whether you played alone or not. So it's just something. It's just something that I think that they could look at, is making it easier for players to progress the main quest line on their own. Not and one other factor is that I keep seeing stuff online about people who can't party up for some reason because of there not being any people at the same level in their area and that kind of thing.
Yeah, especially since, as you said earlier, the Souvette came into this game and fell in love with it, and she's not. This game is so amazing that it reaches out to people that are not the normal sort of demographic, and it's a situation of like, let's be honest, we're a bunch of dudes talking about, and we're a bunch of gamer dudes, no less. The Souvette, you're talking about a woman who's not a gamer in the classical sense, and there is an added aspect that we just can't wrap our heads around of what it's like to be a woman meeting, grouping up, and sometimes there might be the creepy, sweaty dudes, and sometimes there might be, I don't know what else. There might be all kinds of reasons why either A, a woman might be less interested or wanting to party up or trusting of general people, or B, why someone who, not just a woman, any person who's not a gamer person, a gamer bro, somebody who's new to the sort of family, might be like a little reticent. So yeah, I think there could definitely be reasons why this game, appealing to a larger audience, might behoove them. As you said, it's not that they have to do it this way, but it might behoove them to choose to do it this way, of saying like, yeah, let's figure out some accommodations that we can make.
I can't say, I just don't think it would hurt, basically. Like, if you could, if when you went to the Amrine dungeon and you went on your own, it scaled it so that it was so that the bosses were less hard and there were fewer enemies, so that you could do it on your own. Like, us guys wouldn't have been like, fuck yeah, we'll do it on our own. Like, there's no way that we'll party up to do it now. Not when we can do it on our own. Like, we just wouldn't. We'd still do it as a party.
Yeah.
Like, I think there are ways you can balance it. You could set it so that you get standard rewards if you do it on your own, and you have a slightly less challenging experience. But if you do it as a party, like, it rewards teamwork and you get much better rewards. So it's accessible for people who just want to play the game on their own, and there's still an incentive for people to party up and play tactically. Incidentally, and totally on topic, the Souvette has just come in having written a message in her notebook. And she passed it to me, and it said, "Can I borrow your laptop because I want to buy New World now so I can play it at the same time."
Please tell the Souvette that she's getting gifted New World. I mean that. I wasn't joking. But she has to come play on NAE Sitara with her lovely husband and his guild of weirdos. Yeah.
Guild of reprobates.
Yeah.
So in other words, Souvette needs to give you her Steam ID.
Well, I can hook that up with Suv after the show.
Later, yeah.
Which of note, by the way.
No, get her to come on live on the show.
I don't want to ask a woman to come on.
Not live on the show, but get her to join the game live. During.
Yeah, we'll sort all that out. I don't like putting people on the spot with stuff when I don't know them. They may be uncomfortable or whatever, and I don't want to make anybody feel weird. So like,
But Kai, she could read about the company on New World Fans, where Black
Ark,
Sky Legion is listed.
that's a perfect transition. Ark, why don't you
Um,
explain a little bit about that? What's that about?
yeah, so New World Fans has the company listings there. I think you'll probably put it in the link, I would guess,
I
to this
absolutely
video.
will. We'll put it in the links to the show notes. Yes.
And we are recruiting. Um, we are focused on kind of PVX, right? We do everything with regular crafting to player versus player to player versus environment, everything. All focused on kind of helping each other out, getting folks to level 60, which is the cap level, and just having fun together, hanging out. And it's just like the Black Sky Legion normal show, where it's like a pub where you're hanging out, and enjoying listening to Kai and the crew. You can be part of Kai and the crew every day in New World,
Hell
and
yes.
that's how you can find us on the Black Sky, or I'm sorry, the New World Fans. And I think there's another place too. I'm gonna figure out. I guess there's a second place too. I just have to figure out what the hell it's called, and I'll get us up there too.
Bro, I'm in the middle of a dungeon that's built into the side of the mountain that has a waterfall going through the middle of the building. What the actual... And look, you can see above, there's walkways on multiple levels up there. Like, the intricacy of this shit is crazy. Yeah, for everybody in the chat, for everybody that's watching along, like, get in on this game. And more importantly, don't just get in on this game. Get in on this game. Join the Satara server. That's the server we're on right now. We might be moving later, but you'll get a free transfer if we do move. We might not be moving. Get in on this game and come play with us and see this amazing shit. Like, I cannot sell this enough. This is the next big thing. I feel like, obviously, Star Citizen's going to come out in the next 5 years, and it's going to rock the world. But right now, until then, this is the next big thing, and it's just, it's just, don't miss this. I get nothing from this. I have no referral code. I'm not a sponsor. I'm not an affiliate. I want people to come and join this and join us on this adventure. Come play with us. Don't, like, look, I'm over here. Look, okay. Oh, somebody's shooting me. Who is shooting me?
Play with us, Danny. Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Oh, wow. One of us. Yeah. So get in on this shit. Yes, Ark, thank you so much. Ark was very, very cool and went on that newworldfans.com and registered our guild, company, clan,
Is that like
org.
OnlyFans, but for New World?
Yes, it is. It is, in fact. It's where I go and get naked.
That's how we fund the show, actually, with
yes.
Kai's nudes.
Mm-hmm. That's absolutely correct. I'm telling you again, I've said this many, many times. There needs to be a thing called Only Grands, where it's just a whole bunch of old grandmas, and you see their website and you read their bio, and you subscribe to them for $10 a month, and every month some old grandma sends you a pie in the mail for $10, and just, I would subscribe to that. Oh shit, I'm almost dead. Let me eat some food. I saw that there was some...
Funny enough, I've just been leveling up my food making skills.
Yeah, me too. I'm like at 170. I saw there's some platinum over here, and I don't want to miss it. So let me just... Look, if you crouch, it lowers your radius of aggro. Let me just... Oh, nope. He turned around, so he still saw me. It makes you make less noise, but I'm just going to kill this guy, get this treasure, and then go get that ore. Look at this shit. Look at this. This is nut. This is... Even you guys on the show that you're not to Evan scale reach yet, like, look at this shit. This is what? Yeah. So we had a couple of things, and I really wanted Suv to go through. Suv, did you have more on your change list or whatever? Stuff that you're like, hey man, yeah, I would like to see this or that. I don't know if you even had a chance to, because I know you were busy. Listen to our show last week.
Not really. Like I just the only things I've come across have been tiny niggles, and most of those have been the kind of things that I noticed them and I'm like, that'll get patched in the next couple of months. They like that people will if they're playing their own game, they'll notice that, and people will flag it, and if there's a forum post about it, I'll make sure to chip in and say, yes, I think that changing this would be a good idea. And we're literally talking little tiny UI things that would just make life a bit easier.
And they've already
and actually-
done two. They've already done one a week for the last 2 weeks. Patches with updates to stuff and fixing stuff and adding things to the game that have been really awesome, in my opinion.
exactly.
At least.
Exactly. So I think that and some of this stuff, you literally, if I was to design a game, I literally wouldn't know that was a little friction point unless I'd played it for 60 hours. Like there is some stuff that you just don't realize is going to be, oh, there's Kit Havoc. Hey,
Kit.
There is some stuff that you just don't that you just couldn't foresee as being a friction point until you've actually played it for hours and hours and hours. So I don't like blame them for them. And it's a testament to how much goodwill Amazon have built up for amongst the player base, that most people I've spoken to have been like, yeah, it's fantastic. They're like, seeing if they change this, it would be cool. No doubt that will happen at some point. I'm sure they've got it in mind, that kind of thing. So it feels like there's like a huge amount of goodwill towards the company at the moment. The game studio knows.
I'm currently running away from a bear that I'm sure would tear my soul through my asshole. This is very, very bad. I'm running. Yeah. Ooh, oh no! Stop, bear! Leave me be. Leave me alone. Did I make it?
That is a very spiky bear.
That is a very, very, very unhappy bear. He does not want to play with me, and I don't blame him. I don't want to play with him either. Let me just hide, like you do.
Wolf Dragon, there you are, trading away.
Yes, I'm trying to make back some money that I had to spend to buy other stuff to do things, because I didn't want to spend 2 hours hunting for whatever the hell the resource was.
Yes. How do you guys feel about the whole crafting, gathering system, whatever? Hey, sorry, I want to real quick shout out Chimpy McMonkey. Just started a character on Satara. Right on, brother. Here, this is important. When you get to like level 9 or 10 and they ask you what team you want to join the Marauders. Green. That's us. If you don't join that, then we have to kill you because them's the rules. Van Otter says, I missed a career in game sales. I've been told that actually more than once. I would be a good...
You've sold so many copies of games.
Oh, it's so good. Also, just okay. New World stuff. Anyone hop in with what you got? Because I do want to take a moment at the end of the show to touch on, what do you call it? Sitcon, and
you mentioned crafting and gathering earlier.
Yeah. Yes, I absolutely do.
I think, as I said earlier, I think that the all the audio visual stuff is fantastic, and it's just incredibly satisfying to go and log or whatever. And people who have played more MMOs than me tell me that one thing that this game does really well is take a lot of the annoying bore ache out of crafting. Like, it's instant, for example. You don't have to wait for it, which is great. So I feel like they've been careful to learn from games that have come before. One thing that I think is potentially something that they could tweak or improve is I don't yet know how much you can ignore crafting if you don't want to engage with it. Like, I like the idea that in a game you can just do whatever you want, and in games like Albion Online, which Kai used to play a lot, and I've read a fair bit about. You can really specialize, and you have people who just do crafting, and just somebody might end up just being the chef for their player group, and or somebody might just be the weaponsmith for their group, and they've really major on that aspect. And you don't have to be like a DPS dungeon guy. You can still have a fulfilling experience by fulfilling a different role. I'm not yet sure how much Amazon is like that, because it seems like the game encourages you to engage with pretty much everything. So like, an example of that is that to do the Amrose or the Amrine dungeon more than once, you need to craft a tuning orb.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure you can't buy those on the market. Again, this is kind of going back to that thing about I'm not sure how much Amazon are committing to this to like to the free market idea. Like I would quite like it if you could buy those tuning orbs on the on the market, then you could legit basically get through the whole thing never doing any crafting if you didn't want to. And although I wouldn't make that choice myself because I think the crafting is great, I think it would be cool if the game did commit totally to the idea of, oh no, you can just do anything. You don't have to. You don't. If there's an element of the game you don't enjoy, you just don't have to engage with it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's not really a criticism. It's more of like an open question, I suppose, because I haven't played it enough to know the answer to that yet.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think I feel that I actually prefer it this way. That some of the decisions that they make basically end up leading you in a position where you can't, have the whole. And I'm not saying this as a pejorative or whatever. I'm just saying there's a thing where people say Chinese gold sellers or whatever. Like, I think a lot of the decisions with regard to this were very thoughtful, aimed at countering that experience.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But you're right. On the other end, there is a trade-off where, and I think that as the project matures, there may be some middle ground for saying like, well, we can allow for this, but not that. Like, you're right. There's ways in which you can allow for more freedoms, and I think that some of those ways might be right now a concern with regard to gold farmers, but like that doesn't necessarily mean that has to be forever that way. I am not messing with that bear. Look at that bear, man. He's got no eyes. He's got big spikes and corruption everywhere. That bear is not a... Hey, guys, do you think, in the chat, do you think I should try to kill that bear and you guys want to watch me die? You know what?
You want to flex on it.
I don't even have to ask chat. I'm gonna alt tab and watch that.
All right, YOLO. Everybody ready to see me die? Here we go. Hey, you bear. Oof. Ow. My health bar. Come here, bear. Come here, bear. Wait, hold on. Just let me out of the corner, please. Bear. Hey, bear. 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 Please. Be nice, bear. Oh, my health. I have no health. Ooh, he just keeps hitting me like really hard. Yep, and I'm dead. That was that. That bear
Zen needs to be revived.
That bear threw me in a corner and he did naughty things to me, and it was not a pleasant experience. It was not a pleasant experience. But I'd already completed my quest, so I was like, hey, I could take a shortcut back to town. So that was that. Yeah, that was a shortcut back to town is what that was. But yeah. New World stuff. Ark. Hop in with some extra stuff, closing thoughts, anything, whatever, New World stuff before we close that bit out. Is Ark?
Man.
Okay.
Just like, can you hear me?
Yeah, hear you fine. 5x5.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like Sova. Just for me, it's just small little, wishes at this point. Everything's really good. I'm looking forward to the sort of just experiencing the world. Like I told you all, my one sort of, if I could do it all over again, maybe I would take more time and I would have listened to the story a little bit more. I didn't do much of that at all.
That's rough.
Yeah, no, I love it. I think we talked about this last week. I think this would be a great opportunity for Amazon to capitalize off that. Find a way for players when you can't play the game, but you're in a podcast or you're at work or you're wherever, you have some downtime, and you could find a way that an app or something allows us to take a look at the journals that we've discovered, or something like that. I think that would be a great opportunity to just catch up. Because it's going to be a lot more important whenever we get to end game and we start talking about DLCs and things like that are going to come out. It's going to be a lot more important to kind of understand what the hell it is. I'm looking forward to, especially if it has some marketing build up, which you would assume they'll do. So anyway, that's it. I don't have a whole bunch more to add other than just hey man, come join us out here because we got people at all levels right now. It's the perfect time to join. We've got folks in the 20s. We've got folks close to 60. We've got a lot of people in their 40s.
And
So
we
we
got
got
some
plenty
people
of,
just starting up, so they're in their
That's right.
fives. Yeah,
And
yeah.
as a company, it's
Oh, I thought you meant their physical age.
that
too.
too.
Yeah,
the company's the game's name for a player group. The company is like super what's the word, supportive as well. Like all the time people are saying like, oh hey, I'll help you do this dungeon, or what are you up to at the moment? Oh, I'm doing quests out in Windswood or whatever. Oh, okay, I'll come and join you and we'll do a few corrupted portals or whatever together. Like it's in terms of like having a great group of people to play with. It's fantastic. It really is. Like it's super fun. I'm really thrilled to
hell yeah.
play with these guys.
Hell yeah. If you get to a point where you're, hey, I'm stuck with this thing, people will come help. If you're, hey, I need this, people will, I can make it. Hey, I need this dungeon. We'll put it together. I can't tell you how many times I've run Amrine Dungeon.
Oh, you love it.
Yeah. I do, you know what? I actually do love it. Not for the dungeon per se. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a great dungeon the first 15 times I did it. It's great for the experience of hanging out with people and doing cool shit. It is. It's legit. In addition to that, I'd like to say, yeah, I just come and join us, man. It'll be great. The Discord is in the show notes. Wolf, can you post the Discord for me in the chat, just so people have it?
On YouTube?
Yeah, on YouTube and Twitter, either one. If you post it on one, it'll post it on the other with that restream
got it.
But yeah, come and join us. Wolf, your closing thoughts. Take a minute before you go digging for whatever. Take a second and focus on this. Your closing thoughts on New World and just whatever. I know you weren't here last week. You didn't have a chance to listen to our last Sunday's show yet because you literally just got back yesterday, so like you haven't, and you've been playing with us but I mean,
I've got a lot of catch up to do.
We ran through a list of like all of our thoughts of things we'd like to see added to the game. What would you like added to the game?
Honestly, the only thing that I can think of is a little bit of quality of life, and it gets back to the whole bind on pickup, bind on equip, that kind of thing. If you have an item that is bound to you, something in the top left corner, or just a little do something to the iconography of the item, such that at a glance you can look at it and see these are the things that are bound to me, these are the things that are not bound to me. Because then when we're doing the whole talks and whatnot, it's like, hey, I found this, and it's like somebody says, oh, that's really awesome, and then you go into trade with them and realize, oh crap, I didn't read that last green line on the bottom that said bound on pickup.
Hell yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Hell yeah.
That's it. Like that's the only thing right now that I see. Everything else, I'm having a grand old time. I haven't come across anything that's like infuriating at all.
Yeah, that's I agree.
I mean,
with that.
you could literally just put a little X in the bottom left corner, and anything with the X, you can't trade it or sell it.
Yep. Something easy.
Yeah, I just started locking my gear too. I don't know if you guys knew you could do that.
Yeah.
Maybe you have a really good piece of gear and you don't want to accidentally pull a drunk.
Wait, you can lock it?
Yes.
Yeah, you can lock it.
Okay, this is great because two of the people said, wow, you can lock gear, and earlier in this show I explained how you can lock gear. Literally in this show, like 15 minutes ago.
I was
drinking. Yep. You can right click, and right where you click to repair or salvage or drop a piece of gear, one of the things at the bottom is lock, and once you do it, it puts a little lock icon on it, and you cannot accidentally sell or salvage that. You have to remove the lock before you can trade, sell, salvage, anything like that.
That's what happens to all my faction gear.
Yeah.
Locked.
Yeah. All right, Ben, I know you got a chance to express yourself on this subject already last week, but anything that you would change, thinking about it now with the benefit of an extra week in this conversation, change, add, remove, whatever to New World, and anything else you want to talk about New World wise before we move on to the last topic of the week?
I think the only thing I would add would be doubling down on the ability to share missions and doubling down on I love this armor set, I want it.
Sharing
And I
missions.
want,
Sharing missions is a big one. I forgot that.
yeah,
That
I
is a
want
really-
this. I want to share this. I want to wear this armor set as what it looks like, but I want the stats from that armor set.
Oh,
However you want to do it, whether it's
yeah.
like we've got the skins that you can get from Amazon Prime, or whether it's I can't remember the names of the methods they use in WoW, but
Glam.
Yeah.
They call it in Glam. They call it in WoW. In Final Fantasy 14, it's Glam. In WoW, it's Transmog.
yeah. So let me wear that armor, but let it look like that armor. That's about the only double down on that, and I think pretty much everything else stays.
Oh yeah. Yes, that was a thing that we talked about yesterday. Last week. That it's like that.
Last week,
that
yeah.
absolutely needs to be a thing. All right. Suv, anything else you want to add before we move on to the last subject? The last subject, just as a hint, the last subject is going to be talking about just a wrap up talk on more about SitCon from last week.
Nope, nothing from me.
All right. Anybody? Did I miss anybody? Ark, did I get you?
Yep, you got me.
All right. Yeah. Anybody got anything else? Nope. All right. Oh, everybody, when you get to Ebon Scale Reach, look at this Gator leather satchel. Holy shit! A bag that holds an extra 255 pounds, and it's free. It's a crust reward. You gots to get it.
Nice.
Yeah. It's really, really good. All right. So briefly, I just wanted to touch more on SitCon just as things because we've had a week now and more has there's been more fallout from it. Some of the people I think, liked it, and a lot of people some people expressed, negative feelings, and they were like, it's not exciting enough. It wasn't this, it wasn't that. Mind you, most of these people are the exact same assholes that have been saying, I don't look at what they do with the sandworm. They show us fake shit. They're wasting their time. Yeah. They should be developing the game. And then they come here and they give us this big presentation of lies, of shit we'll never see, and this, that, and the other. They need to just focus on the game. So then this year, CIG puts out a SitCon where they're like, bro, we're just focusing on, we're going to literally, honestly, let's be honest. You know what this SitCon was? This SitCon was like a series of GDC talks. It was very dry. It was very low budget. It was very factual. It was very dense. It was very good information, but it wasn't razzle dazzle. And
yeah, they were just taking care of business.
Yeah, but because the game is no longer at that point where they have to baffle you with bullshit because they don't have anything. We're not at razzle dazzle stage anymore. We're at really getting a game stage. So instead of spending a lot of time and effort to make basically machinima movies of shit that doesn't exist anywhere yet and say, look at that, you can get that someday. What they did was they had, again, very informative, very dry, very dense talks where they say, here is stuff that we're working on. Here's what it really is. Here's what we're doing. Here's where we're going. And yes, does that have a whole lot less razzle dazzle than 3 years ago, 5 years ago, SitCons? Yes, because they're not selling us on empty stuff anymore. They're really at the point of doing it. So, and I don't mean to talk shit on the old SitCons. I'm saying they were at a point then where that's where they were supposed to do. That was the point in the project where they were at, where it was like, hey, sell them on ideas so that we can keep this project going so we can make a great thing. They don't have to do that anymore. And I just want to say specifically the fact that the same people, the exact same people, and you know who I'm talking about, the exact same people that for the last year have been bitching and moaning that CIG is going to baffle us with more bullshit and give us sandworms and empty stuff, and they need to just stop doing all this side bullshit, stop wasting their time and effort, and focus on the game, are now crying that they didn't get enough razzle-dazzle. Anybody got feels on this?
I have strong feels on this because I've read several things from people who have been like, yeah, it was a solid sitcom. No, I don't know. I can't decide if it was a bad or good one. I feel like it was solid, and somehow that's disappointing. And I'm like, no. What it is that there is no big. Guess what? It's going to have this entirely new feature set. In previous years there would be, as you say, like razzle dazzle, giant new things that were shown, like, oh my god, a sandworm or whatever, that being the emblematic one. This year it was, here's how we're getting on with the biggest engineering tasks. Here are some panels where we really try and give you an insight into how we're approaching those engineering tasks and what the challenges are, and then a couple of new ships, like modest. But that is because, as you say, the scope has been defined, and it's no longer about how much more can we do. It's about how can we do this really, really well. And so I kind of feel like the faint sense of being underwhelmed that a lot of people feel is actually a good thing, because we don't, like, everybody was we've sort of been trained to expect to have our expectations blown. We don't want that anymore. We want delivery. We want things to, we want thorough, honest progress updates on things like server meshing. We want to understand how things like the quantum system are coming together. So I feel like it was a real step in the right direction, and the fact that it wasn't a giant star-studded, razzle dazzle fest is a good thing.
You know what blew my mind? 3 days after SitCon, when they announced, oh, by the way, starting in 3.15, when the server 30Ks, your stuff is going to be saved. You can go claim your ship and your stuff's there. You want to razzle dazzle me? Do it with the real game. Don't do it with ideas anymore of like abstract whatever. And you know what? They delivered on that 100%. God bless them. I know you. I want to let you guys, the rest of you guys, in on this. I know you got Wolf. What do you think?
I don't have anything to add. I'm in agreement.
Okay. Ark.
I just.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead, Wolf.
I'm trying to find words and I can't. It's really odd.
Ark?
Yeah, no, we talked about this last week too. I agree with you. I think you don't need to have a whole bunch of motivational videos when you actually have the game and people want it now. You just need to update the sort of timeline where people can start playing and doing things, and then you let all your content creators, run the marketing platform for you. It's an interesting industry, the gaming industry, where you have all these people essentially not out of your pocket. It costs nothing for you to just invite a bunch of people to an expo and let the content creators do the work for you. So I think they're in a good place. I'm stoked about it. I know myself, I've always looked at the game as an investment for a future game that I'm really going to want to play, and constantly gets new free updates from me for the small amount of money I invested into it. So I'm stoked. As soon as it starts to become a little stable and my New World fever drops a little bit, I will be going in for some shenanigans as well.
Hell yeah. You want to explain to civvies what HUA means? Your HUA speech?
Oh, like just a motivational. That's the military's word for something that's like a motivational. Yeah. Marines would say hoorah. Army says HUA.
Who fucking rah, brother? Let's see. Timothy Khan. I gotta kill a guy, and I'm not sure if this is the guy. Destroy Legarath. It's not Legarath. All right, so I don't have to fight this dude because he looks like he would wipe the floor with me. Who did we miss? Ben, did we get you? Your thoughts on? Oh, we got you.
I covered most of my thoughts last week, really, didn't I?
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, I just wanted to take a moment because it's a continuing. Because last week when we covered it, it was right after it happened, but it's continuing to expand where people are, basically expressing their whans about things. And it's like, okay, that's fine. And I don't want to be like a toxic, positive person where it's like shit on everybody for having an opinion. You can have an opinion. You can say, I didn't like it because X, Y, and Z. Okay, fine. I'm more than happy to hear your
bullshit,
your thoughts. But if you're always complaining A, and say they should do B, and then they do B, and you complain that B didn't have enough A, then it's like, all right, man. All right.
Yeah. what I just don't get is how they show some of the most advanced missions I've seen in any game, which is allowing you to complete the mission as a sandbox.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is a sandbox game. You have to do something, and you can complete it like a sandbox, doing a bajillion different ways of doing it. And you're complaining about that?
Yeah, they showed you can go to buy the item and buy it. You can go to buy the item and at the last minute to double cross a guy and shoot him. You can come in gun blazing from the beginning. They showed at one point like a guy had to get on a roof for a reason, and he's like, here, just grab a box, moved it over, put the box over there, climbed on the box and jumped, like platformed up. It was legit.
They had a guy, you know, coming in, getting changed into their local clothes.
Yeah, to blend in.
That, you know, to blend in.
That to me, I immediately
next level shit.
To me, I was immediately thinking of Han and Luke getting in stormtrooper outfits, and hey, yeah, this is a TDK 157. Everything's fine up here. Sorry about that. Yeah. I was
Boring conversation anyway.
Yeah. All right. So good stuff. And that's, I just wanted to sort of touch on it briefly. Anybody have anything they want to say before we close out the show? It can be anything. It can be, oh, you know what? I got one I want to throw out there just off the top of my head. This week I watched on the second screen because everything I've done, I have been playing. I've been working, coming home, and New World. That's it. The only time that I've not been playing New World this week was when I watched Foundation. Other than that, everything I did, I watched TV shows on the second screen while I play New World, whatever. But I watched on the second screen while I was playing New World Last Days on Mars, which was a very cool sci-fi movie starring Liev Schreiber, where they're on Mars and it's this weird sort of a horror movie. I don't want to give too much whatever, but it's on Amazon Prime. You can get it. You can rent it on HD for like $4, but I just rent everything on SD for $2 because it's like, what do I care? Yeah, really good, worth it. Check it out. Good shit. Anybody go around the horn? Anybody? If not, say goodnight to the beautiful people. Start with Ben.
The only thing I guess I've got to say is I'm definitely not going to be in next week, and probably the next 2 weeks I'm not going to be around.
Okay.
Due to families and Halloween stuff.
No worries. Suv.
Good night, beautiful people.
Yeah, see, Suv says, I'll be around for the next 2 weeks, because unlike you, my pull-up game's not weak, son. Wolf.
And sorry, what was Suv doing last week? I missed that.
He was out with his hot wife, out
up.
traveling the world, drinking and partying with friends, and watching gay He-Man movies. Why? All right, Wolf.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on a little bit of travel next week, so I'm gonna miss everything again, unfortunately. But it's just for the weekend, so I'm not gonna have nearly as much to catch up on. But thanks for joining us, everyone.
Right on. Ark.
Yeah, I'll be floating around, man. Thanks for joining us. Please take a look at the company site and ping any of us through Discord or here and jump in and start having some fun with us.
Hell yeah. And like legitimately, if you're one of our regulars, the people, I'm talking Wintermute and Van Otter and Space Monkey. If you're one of the guys that, and you're just like, hey man, I kind of want to get it, but I'm a little shy on the $30 right now. Fucking message me on the Discord. You're on the Discord, message me. I got you. I don't care. It's fine. Just come join us. Yeah. Excellent stuff. I want to say I love you all. I hope you guys had a decent time with us. I know we're doing a more casual thing here, and we're trying to actually transition the Friday show to a much more casual thing where we're just gamers who talk games and have some fun. And I hope you guys dig it. And if people like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. But it's what I want to do, so it's what we're going to do. So love you all. Talk to you later. Have a good one. I got to finish killing this guy real quick while this guy's doing the heavy lifting. I'm going to tab over and close the show.